Women like to know, women like to plan, and even after 2 years of pandemic ups and downs, most women still aren't comfortable with uncertainty. A new book hits at the heart of that wrestle. Embrace Your Almost is about finding clarity and contentment in the in-betweens, not quite, and unknown moments of our lives. Author Jordan Lee Dooley is a two-time national best-selling author who thrives in helping women prioritize their well-being and build their God-given dreams. Jordan, I'm a new fan. I'm so excited to have you on Studio 5 today. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. So happy to be here.
So I read the book. I really enjoyed the book, and I really appreciated the challenge that you issued to balance goal setting with gratitude. It sort of, to me, felt like this next level of mindfulness, right? I want to kick us off right away with a quote that I pulled from your pages. You wrote, "Liking your life doesn't mean you can't aim for more. It simply means you learn to sit with the tension of both disappointment and possibility. You trade perfection for whimsy, delight, faith, and intention while tending the life you've been given." Why do you think, Jordan, that women are responding to this fresh outlook, this new perspective so deeply?
Well, I think a little bit, kind of like you said, we're planners. We make our plans, we make our dreams, and we think if we just do all the right things, it'll work out how we thought or how we hope. And we've been told that if you just do all the right things, if you work hard, it'll work out how you thought. And it's a real wrestle, and it's really hard to deal with the reality that sometimes you'll do everything right and things will still go wrong or things won't go how you planned. And the challenge then becomes, well, how do you make the most of that as you're kind of in that uncertainty or that unmet expectation? And a lot of times I think the cliche message we're told is just get up and try again. And what about those times when you do get up and try again and you still keep running into a brick wall or you still keep being thrown a curveball? And so I think we need to talk about the very real reality that is, because that's what life is a lot of times.
That it might not be you, it might be the dream. You do acknowledge the balance, though, between wanting more and also appreciating what you already have. You write, contrary to popular belief, maybe rethinking dreams isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes the answer is to redefine what success looks like for you in a world that's constantly telling you what you should do. And as you think about that idea, it almost seems obvious, yet why do you think it's so hard for women to grasp onto? What gets in our way of that contentment?
I think our own expectations of the way life should look, other people's expectations for us that maybe we've internalized or believed we should try to live up to, and also just the hopes that we have. I think a lot of times we hold dreams really near and dear to our heart, whether that's to make an impact through our work or to have a family or to, look the way that we hope to, or to heal a health issue that we're struggling with. So we have really worthy dreams, and they're good things most of the time. But sometimes when things go wrong over and over and over again, or we're faced with setbacks, it's the first time we really get the opportunity to pause and slow down and really reconsider, where am I going? And why am I going there? And is this the right dream for me in this season of my life? Or maybe am I just doing it because I think I'm supposed to, or it sounds good, or it looks good?
Right. You offer a formula in the book, and I really love the combination of these three questions that you threw out, questions we can ask ourselves when we're faced with that letdown or that disappointment. Question number one, what do I truly want? Question number two, why do I want it? And question number three, how am I going to steward it? And I particularly love that last question about stewardship. How am I going to steward it? Because it really points to this personal ownership, right?
That, and also we're often told, like, just go get after it. And I in the book, I talk about how our life, we need to look at it a little bit more like a garden to tend than a game to win. We often treat goals as like, okay, I set the goal, I do all the right things, I achieve it, I win. And sometimes when a curveball gets thrown or something doesn't go quite how we thought it would, we have to figure out, how can I keep stewarding that vision, even if I have to maybe reroute or make some changes or adjustments to my plan? How do I keep stewarding that, even if it's not just a quick straight shot from point A to point B?
There are a couple of standout, I'll call them themes or frequently used words in the book that I want to ask you about. And actually one of my favorite thoughts was around this word, this idea of tension. You wrote, have you ever experienced that strange feeling, that sense that things aren't quite the way they were supposed to be, even if where you are at is full of loveliness? It's weird, yet sanctifying. The reminder of what's missing against the backdrop of what you don't want to miss can create an unusual intersection of grief and gratitude. It's in these moments, you write, that I think we can really lean into liking our lives. I love that thought. How can we get more comfortable, Jordan, with the tension, the grief and the gratitude simultaneously, for example?
Yeah, I've really come to find that, there's a lot of advice out there to try to build a life you love. And that's a really great sentiment. But sometimes life can be hard and it can be hard to love. And so, as I was in a season feeling like, man, life is hard and hard to love, but I also have a lot of good stuff to be thankful for,
Hmm.
I was trying to figure out how can I still make the most of where I'm at. And this idea of liking your life kind of came up for me. And really, that means that you can still grieve what could have been or what should be or what you expected and make the most of where you are and be grateful for what is good and what has gone right and what
Yes.
you are thankful for in your life. And I think a lot of times we think, man, if I have a lot of good things to be thankful for and there's this one area that feels maybe a little incomplete in my life,
Yeah.
if I'm grieving that makes me feel ungrateful or vice versa. So I just want to encourage anyone who feels like there's an unmet expectation or a broken dream in their life that your gratitude does not invalidate your grief for what could have been or what should be.
Hmm.
And your grief does not take away from the fact that you are grateful for the good things in your
Well
life.
said. It's getting comfortable with that tension. I've been thinking about that word a lot since reading the book. Another reoccurring theme is this idea of personal refinement. And you write, when things don't work out, you believe there are two choices. You can be bitter or you can be better. And you say every struggle and setback along the way has made me the woman I am today. Refinement is one of those things, Jordan. It always sounds so noble and even a little romantic when we look at it in
Yeah.
hindsight. How can we celebrate it now? How can we celebrate refinement while it's working in us?
Yeah, refinement is painful because it's really removing all the impurities, the distractions, the things that maybe shouldn't be there or don't need to be there anymore. But sometimes that's letting go of good things or things that are familiar or things that we thought were so important. But I really believe that every disappointment in our life, and that's really what an unmet expectation or times of uncertainty are, every single disappointment we walk through can be one of two things. It can be a dead end or it can be a defining moment. And I think if you can look at, maybe not immediately, sometimes when we first get hit with that disappointment, we have to process that. But if you can try to remember, am I going to let this be a defining moment and how so? And when you can really reevaluate and take
Hmm.
notice of what could this be teaching me? How can I make the most of this? How can I
Hmm.
grow from this? It will become a defining moment for you in that you might get clarity on what matters most to you. You might get clarity on what absolutely does not matter to you, but
Yeah,
maybe you
yeah,
thought should matter to you.
yeah.
So yeah, just try to remember this can be a defining moment, even when it feels like a dead end.
I love how the words and passion just pour out of you. The book is Embrace Your Almost by Jordan Lee Dooley. Where can we get our copy?
You can find it anywhere books are sold: Target, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books a Million. Anywhere books are sold, you
All
should be
right.
able to find a copy.
Congratulations. Thanks for jumping into our space today, Jordan.